Let's try this. I can't turn my phone while I'm live. All right, let me invite a viewer to be in your broadcast. Man, how do I add this dude on? Hold on, we're gonna get there, y'all. We're gonna get there. Bear with us. I hope that ain't gonna work. Hello, cousin Debbie, what's going on? We're gonna talk about it. Dave, you in here? Trying to get my boy David up on here. Allow viewers to send you a request to join your broadcast. You can add them at any point. All right, we're just waiting on one person. There you go. Bring Winston Ward on camera. Their friend won't be able to watch this unless they're in your selected audience. All right, adding them on. There you go.
Call ended.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, all right, we're good then. We're good.
Man. So,
Talk to me. What's up? How you
man,
been?
it's been a crazy day, crazy week, to say the least. Been working hard, grinding. How about yourself? How's you and the fam?
I can't complain at all. We're taking it day by day
Right.
this way. No complaints at all.
I feel you. All right.
So I'm hearing and I'm seeing like on social media like this big uproar about the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne, and our Vice President
Right.
Biden. Like what's going on with this situation?
Man, so apparently, okay, so the Breakfast Club interview it aired yesterday, and it was Charlemagne the God and Joe Biden, and Charlemagne the God was basically asking him questions, about his track record, about what he's going to do for the Black community specifically. And really, the big thing that happened is towards the very, very end is questions, oh, you got to turn that about his track record, about what you got to turn that Black community, you got to turn your volume specifically. And really, the big thing that happened is towards the very, very end is questions. Oh, you got to turn that about his track record, about what you got to turn that Black community, you got to turn your volume specifically. And really, the big thing that happened is towards the very, very end let me know when you're good. All right, so I don't know what happened with Dave. He was having some technical difficulties, but pretty much just to recap, this club virtually with Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne was asking him some questions and stuff. And really, what a lot of people are paying a lot of attention to is towards the very, very end, where Biden basically said, if you don't know who to vote for, and you're not voting for Joe Biden, then you ain't black, quote unquote. And a lot of people were in an uproar about that. Let me try to add him back on. A lot of people were in an uproar about that. And media sites and people I follow, see, it's been split down the middle. I was just saying, Dave, it's been pretty split down the middle in terms of people who agree with what he said or whatever, and people who think that what he said was, for lack of a better term, racist. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about, and bring somebody on that I know is pretty informed on politics and what goes on in the world, particularly from a Black perspective, and just shed some light, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff that has been very uninformed, to say the least, on both sides. So
Yeah, I seen quite a few people that's in stating that what Joe Biden stated wasn't wrong for what he said, but at the same time, like I was saying earlier, I think like the Democratic Party, I think they just have us blacks in the palm of their hands. You know what I mean? So it's like we're pretty much giving them a free for all because they already know they got our votes at the end of the day. And just like what Sean Combs said a couple weeks ago about holding his vote for hostage until he sees like a formal black agenda for us. You know what I mean? Like Biden was saying he did all this shit in the 80s and 90s, but like, see, the God said, what are you doing now? Like, what are you doing for my family now? You know what I mean? I think Biden definitely caught a lot of heat for it. I think he could have came into it a different approach instead of like, I got you by the neck, so it's pretty much you're voting for me no matter what. You know what I mean?
right.
I think he could have approached it a little differently, but overall, though, with the whole interview itself, I think there was some animosity between Biden and Seat of God just because of Seat of God's been so critical of Biden without having a black agenda for him, for us, I mean.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, did you watch the entire interview, or did you just watch like parts of the? All right, you watched the whole thing. So I don't know if anybody else watched the whole thing or if they're just reading headlines. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of y'all, not you, Dave, I'm just speaking in general. A lot of y'all read headlines and y'all make generalizations based on the headline. Y'all don't even read the article. Y'all be sharing stuff that be from 2014. Y'all don't even read the article. So just reading the headline, of course, is gonna sound a certain way. But to tell you the truth, that wasn't even the worst part of the interview, in my opinion. In my opinion, the worst part of the interview was probably the first, I think it was like 18 minutes or something like that. The first 17 minutes was probably worse than the last 30 seconds. So basically, Joe Biden, the whole interview, he was acting very arrogant, a lot of things he was saying and didn't really make any sense. So Charlamagne the God would ask a question, and like, for example, he was asking him about the 94 crime bill, and he's talking about will the Congressional Black Caucus supported me and blah, blah, blah. Bro, stick to the question. He's going off subject. He's acting very arrogant. He's using borderline slang, a little black scent a little bit. And I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I noticed that. And his swagger about the whole thing was like, yeah, I got these Negroes in the bag. They going to vote for me either way. So let me, I'm walking up in here like some big shot. They going to vote for me either way. I got it in the bag. That's what I got from it.
Like he said about in South Carolina how he pretty much won every county in South Carolina by a landfall. And he brought up Obama ran in 2008, 2012 that even blew Obama's numbers out the water with how many blacks supported him. But if you look at it throughout the past 6 months in the primaries, Bernie was whooping his ass from day one. You know what I mean? And it was like at that last. Right after the Super Tuesday ended, I think that's when Biden just came out of nowhere and just took, And I felt like a lot of people were they support Biden only because we put him in office back in 2008, 2012. Right. You know what I mean? We already gave him that invite to the cookout, like I said earlier. 12 years ago when he was with Obama. But now that he's doing his own platform and whatnot, it's like we're seeing the true colors of him with that 94 crime bill. How he said for 25 years he increased the voting the votes among all minorities in the United States 25 years ago or something along those lines. Like I'm looking at Biden now, it's like bro's not it for real.
Right.
He's and I was really, me personally, I was pushing for Bernie. I'm not a fan of Bernie, but I'd rather have Bernie go against Trump in November than Biden, because I think Trump's going to chew him up.
And to be honest, a lot of people try to, and I seen one post from this is from a family member of mine. I wanted to comment on it real bad, but I was doing stuff during the day. My kids were running around and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time to be, sitting down and typing this up. But it was basically saying, like, if you think that, basically saying, like, what Biden said is correct, and if you really have to think about it, you really ain't black, because if you put his record up against Trump's record, there's no comparison. Trump's the worst one. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, this person has no idea what kind of record Joe Biden has been. For example, with the crime bill, he helped accelerate mass incarceration in the 80s and 90s. That's number one. Number two, the mandatory busing. He opposed that issue back. He was pretty much for segregation and opposed the mandatory busing for particularly black children to be bused into better schools, because the schools that black children were in at that time were run down, hand-me-down books, hand-me-down desks, hand-me-down supplies. So that was going to help some of the children go to better schooling, and he opposed that. What was the other thing? Number three, one of his buddies is a known white supremacist. I forget this dude's name. I want to pull up this article. That's why I was trying to go live on my laptop so I can pull up the article on my phone. But I'm going to look for it in a minute. And there was one other thing that this guy, Joe Biden, pretty much supported a policy that was very detrimental to the black community. And, whenever you put those up against Trump, it don't look good. It don't look. I mean, we know Trump's a racist too. I'm not caping for Trump by any means, but it don't look good for Joe either. You feel me?
That's it. This is the lesser two evils. Who you want?
Right. And to tell the truth, I really don't. I'm not a man of that concept as of now. I thought that back in the day. Because I've been registered independent ever since I was able to be registered to vote at the age of 18. And in the 2016 election, I'm not gonna lie, I did vote for Hillary, because I played into the fear mongering and that was the other thing Joe Biden did. He called black males super predators, or it wasn't super predators. That's the term Hillary used. He used a term very similar to that. I gotta look it up, but. That was the other thing with him. And
that Biden was doing 20 years ago.
What's that?
Biden was doing an interview about 20 years ago with MSNBC, and it was about the 94 crime bill, and he was saying like how he got to lock all these predators up because it could be his mom, his wife, his sister, his kids, that they're attacking and mugging in the streets.
Right.
But I know he did call black male predators back in 94 when they was doing the crime bill. But his whole reasoning for the whole crime bill was that they were saying like in 91, 92, 93, well mainly 91, 92, that there was a peak in crime and in black communities. So he had this idea that we put up this 94 crime bill, crime bill, we were able to have this high number up here to slowly start coming down, and now that he looking back on it, that was a huge mistake, because if you look at it toward the part, crime didn't stop. Crime peaked after that. I mean, it went down slightly in 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000s. It skyrocketed right back up.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's exactly. And he's saying these things like, and he's talking about the black members from the Black Caucus supported me, members from the NAACP, blah, 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 which we know that there are people, in higher up positions that, for lack of a better word, they're coons or they're Sambos or whatever term you want to use. And, some of the policies they support isn't always of the best interest of the entire black community. And they do this for financial gain. You know what I mean? So they have their bought and paid for Negroes, if you want to say, and they can have them support something, and then whenever that time's come, oh no, look, I had this black person behind me. You know, they were supporting me through all this transaction. Yeah, I had them supporting me, and that's kind of what he's gonna do with his, if he gets in office, or if he gets to that stage in the election. His vice president, I guess he's saying he wants to make it a black woman or something like that, and. Black folks, we got to get off of this stuff where this symbolic stuff, you know, we need somebody to ride for us. We don't need just a black face because, and I'm kind of indifferent about Obama now, but Obama was a black face. Did he really help the black community? You know what I mean? So these black faces that we're getting in office, are they helping us, or are they just maintaining the status quo? And that's where something's got to change for us, because we've been doing the same thing for 50, 60 years. You know, all right, go out and vote for the Democrats. The Republicans are evil, blah, blah, blah. And then they get in office. You know, they come around every 4 years or every 2 years around the election, you know, bend us over with no Vaseline. And then you don't see them again for another 2 to 4 years. You know what I mean? So something got to change.
That's why I put a lot of emphasis on voting. And a lot of people in our community are against voting because they think it's set up, the system's already set up and everything. But I still tell them, go out there, do your research at the local levels where it really counts. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's whose voices they're speaking for us. Those are our direct line right there. We voting every 4 years for this president. It's Donald Trump don't know us. Biden don't know us, you know what I mean? But it's the people that we elect at the state, our state senate, U.S. Congress, you know, they're the ones that's speaking for us. And I like how what you said earlier, like you became an independent since you was able to vote. You know? Right. I got sucked in from my grandparents. I got sucked in as you're automatically Democrat. You know what I mean? Because that's just their mindset.
Then that's okay. I mean, I'm not saying you can't register as an independent, or you can't register as a Democrat or a Republican, but you know what I mean? It's just, that's just what I did.
No, and I think like even now, like in the past year or two now, I said I don't consider myself Democrat. I don't consider myself Republican because both parties are BS to me. You know what I mean? I need someone that matches my values and who's going to work for my family. You know what I mean? Like that black agenda. That's what we need. That black agenda. We need some policies in place for us. Legislation for us. You know what I mean?
And look this is what I was grabbing. What's this? A coin, right?
Yeah.
It's a coin.
Okay.
When we talking about, and we're specifically talking about Black Americans. That's who we're talking about. We're not talking about anybody else, because that's who we are, and those are the issues we're gonna ride for. When we talk about white supremacy, here's your Democrat, here's your Republican. That's your white supremacy coin right there. Two sides of the same coin. You feel me? So this is what's gonna happen. Your Republicans, they're gonna tell you that they're gonna put a knife in your back. They're gonna say, "Hey, yeah, the blacks, yeah, we want to put a knife in y'all's back. We're gonna put a knife in y'all's back." Blah blah blah. What the Democrats are gonna do? Oh, buddy, yeah, I know you blacks, you're treated so bad, you know. Oh man, we feel sympathy for. I mean, oh, you guys went through slavery. That's horrible. Give me a hug. Give you a hug, knife in your back. You feel what I'm saying?
It was I think it was Mark Luan here. I was watching a Instagram video yesterday. He was talking about that, like how us blacks, we're just warm-hearted people. You know what I mean? So we're gonna fall for those words. You know, they're gonna give us what they're gonna feed us everything that we want to hear.
Exactly.
But once it's got pen to that paper, come on, where we at now? Right. Like you said, we had 60 years and minimum progress, if any, has been made. You know,
and like a lot of black folks. It hurts me to say it, but a lot of us got low self-esteem.
Oh,
we just want white folks to notice. You know, we go to them and cry. You know, oh, we're being treated badly by racism and white supremacy and disenfranchisement. We just want them to acknowledge that. And whenever they acknowledge it, you know, it's like, oh, well, look, he said it.
So that means he's going to do something for us. He said that there's racism. He says racism exists. Bro, they know that racism exists. Even if they don't tell you that, they know that because they're the ones who benefit from it. Why would they tear down a system that they benefit from? Think about it.
Exactly. And I look at it like it's a business. You know what I mean? It says you're taking money from this person. You're taking money from this big guy right here. So why would we take money that in a sense they work for, that they got? You know what I mean? Ain't no one gonna be willing to give them their money. Ain't no one. That's exactly what the Republican and Democratic Party to me is. It's just like business.
Right.
You said with that, I like that analogy with that coin.
Right. And listen, it's as simple as this. As for me, and I know a lot of individuals who are on the same page, you know, on code with the ideology that I have. I mean, I didn't get it. I didn't create it. I've read and I've done my own research, and for basically, we're not voting for anybody without a black agenda. It's simple because we're done with the just default vote for Democrat when elections come. We're done with that because look at our communities, dog. We're in the same position we were in the 1970s, 1980s when crack hit. We're in the same position. We were voting Democrat then. 4 years ago, we were voting Democrat. So, what the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing and expecting different results. We got to shake something up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about. And people are going to take this and say, oh, "So you want Trump to win?" No, you idiot! Did you hear what I said? You didn't hear any of the words that we were talking about. You didn't hear anything. All you heard was not voting for anybody unless they offer something, and then you automatically connect that to you want Trump to win. No, that's not what we want. So we want somebody that's gonna. It's so easy. All the Democrats have to do is offer something specifically for Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. Because why? Why only us? Well, because we're the only people on this land that's been here for 400 plus years. We're the only people on this land that's built the country, built up the infrastructure, and we're the only people on this land that hasn't been repaid for their work. So, of course, we're going to ask for something specifically for us. And a lot of people got to stop being afraid to say that. A lot of folks are afraid to, you know, they got to say, oh, well, you got to do something for not just African Americans, but minorities and people of color and, you know, everybody that's not white. But in all reality, no. We want something done specifically for whatever term you want to use. American descendants of slavery, foundational Black Americans, African Americans, Blacks, whatever you want to use, specifically for us. Because we're the only people on this land that has built the land and hasn't reaped our benefits from it. So, of course, that's what we want.
Right, you ain't lie. Like, and I think like we don't want to come together as a whole. You know what I mean? Like right. You look at under Obama's term, LGBTQ community skyrocketed. They came together. This is what I want. You know what I mean? Get it done.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what they did. You know, but us.
That's a great example.
We're not doing that. I think it's from just mindset of just being selfish. You know, I don't want to see you be successful if I'm not getting shit out of it. I don't want to see you be successful. You know what I mean? Right. And if we come together and write this is what we want, and you got our votes. You know what I mean? If you can't get this done, on to the next one. You know, Black people are selfish in a sense, but at the same time, I think it's some miseducation that's going out there.
Yeah.
You know. Like, I highly recommend everyone to read Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of the Negro Country.
Yep. Woo! Man, I think I got it right. Do I got it over here?
That's definitely up my
Thanks to my pops right here.
Yeah, I just finished mine the other day. And,
yeah, we gotta get our read on. We can't get everything from a meme or from a YouTube video or from article headline, you know. We gotta, and we're starting to, but we have to continue to become more politically mature. And I think a lot of people are learning from the mistakes we made in the past. A lot of people are learning from the Obama era, because, I mean, we were happy when Obama got in office, but then we realized that, A, he didn't do anything specifically for us. You know, he did something specifically for LGBT community, the Jewish community, the immigrant community, but nothing specifically for Black American community. But now I think a lot of people are becoming more politically mature and realizing, hey, we can't make the same mistakes we made in the past. And that only comes from reading books like The Miseducation of the Negro, reading books like Black Labor, White Wealth, reading books like Powernomics, reading books like Head Negro in Charge Syndrome. I don't have that one in front of me, but that's another one that talks about political strategies. So, I mean, we got to get our read on it, and not from stuff that white society promotes, you know, because they don't want us to learn power moves and things that could benefit our community that is going to basically take wealth away from them and helping us be more sufficient on our own. They're not really going to promote that to you. So you got to go out and search for that for yourself. So,
and even with like the Hidden Color series, the
right.
5 Hidden Colors, I highly recommend us watching that, because it really breaks down not just our history, but what we can do to advance from our past, you know. And I didn't watch the 5th one yet, but I seen the previous 4, and the really good one that I really like is the Rules of Racism.
Yeah.
They explain, like, no matter what, when the Europeans came to our land, you know, we went
the
to
goalpost.
Exactly. You know, we're knocking on their door like, it just accept me. I'll change my religion, my spirit. I'll change the way I dress. I'll change everything. Just accept me. But then they said no, because then you're going to start overpowering us. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really think we got to unlock that third eye of ours.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you think about it, and this is just to touch on that a little bit, if you go back and look at in like the 20s and the early 1900s and stuff, most of the folks that were getting lynched were Black business owners. Most of the folks that were getting lynched were in suits. You know, they weren't folks who were, you know, hanging on the street. So whenever somebody says, "Oh, you guys, you just got to pull up your pants and stop listening to that rap music," and which, okay, it could help. It could help a mentality or whatnot, but that's not going to stop racism. Hey, look at Bill Cosby. Look at Bill. He was the main one saying that. He was the one saying, "Pull up your pants." Now look at him. So, but yeah, Hidden Colors, The Rules of Racism. What other documentaries? 1804. You know, that whole documentary list that I posted, man. That Nat Turner documentary, man. We gotta watch that. Y'all gotta watch that one. Did you watch any of those that I
Yeah, I seen the 1804, but I didn't see the Nat Turner one.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, when you sent that list, I was like, "Merry Christmas, Weeze." You know what I mean? Merry Christmas. That was education right there.
Right.
That was some right there.
Right.
But I definitely like. I just want us Blacks to come together from here on out. We need a game plan. We need a game plan. Like, what do we want to see in our communities? What do we want to see for our youngins? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I honestly think, like, we could really shape this upcoming election. I mean, it's kind of, in my eyes, I think Trump won already. Just to be honest, I don't think Biden has a chance. I think Trump got this in the bag because of the whole coronavirus situation.
Mm-hmm.
Trump saved us. He gave the cure for corona. Yada 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 yada. That whole shebang. They're gonna get to him. I think we just got another 4 years of Trump. But that doesn't stop us from coming together and creating us a game plan of what do we want. You know what I mean? Especially at the local level. I solely believe this at the local level, state level, it'll change. We want policies, legislation, it'll change here first. Move on way up.
And what's funny how you mentioned like, and of course, a lot of people might not know this, but I think most people do know that the local elections are a little more important. They affect you differently than the presidential, like the state elections. And you're really seeing it through this whole Corona thing because the governors are the ones who have to make the decisions for each state. You know what I mean? So if that's not telling you something right there, then you sleep. You sleep. So
Yeah, we got more blacks that get in office too. I just not just like mayor government, but we just gotta get in office more. We need to start being in those administrative positions to make these types of
right. That's funny you say that because I remember I was having this talk with my wife. So whenever Chris Fry got elected, and that's a big move, you know. But you look at all the other, you know, what would you call it, political positions, you don't see any black people on there, you know? I think there was maybe one other.
Lawrence Williams. I think he was running for council.
No, somebody else won a seat for council, I think. I should really know this stuff, but I want to say that there was one other black American who actually won a seat for something else, but, you know, the city was going crazy, like, you know, we got a black mayor, you know, and of course the races come out after that. You know, you've seen a whole bunch of stuff on social media talking about Fry's gonna bring in the black trash and all kinds of crazy stuff, and people were going ham on that. But that's all we got is a black mayor. That's about it.
Yeah, and I kudos to my guy Robert Lyles Bubbers.
Right.
Bubbers is putting the
He was in
on
here.
the school board. You know, and Bubbers is really like he's pushing for it. He's really pushing for change. He's really trying to get more blacks in that type of position. You know.
Right. All right. Anything else we want to touch on, man? I'm trying to get this article up, man. I cannot find it. I bookmarked it, but my computer bookmarks are different from my phone bookmarks. Let me see.
Oh, save that. Yeah, send me that.
Man, it's heavy. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can share this. Will black voters still love Biden when they remember who he was? I'm going to just read the first little section here. Joe Biden once called state-mandated school integration the most racist concept you could come up with. There's a link for that. He called Barack Obama the first sort of mainstream African-American who is articulate and bright and clean. He was a staunch opponent of forced busing in the 1970s and leading crusader for mass incarceration throughout the 80s and 90s. Jim Crow Joe, I'm not saying Uncle Joe, Jim Crow Joe has described African-American felons as predators, too sociopathic to rehabilitate, and white supremacist senators as his friends. And of this writing, a plurality of black Democrats want him to be their party's 2020 nominee. I'm going to share that article. Make sure y'all read it. Weez, I'll send it to you.
Absolutely.
What my dad say, every election except presidential is determined by one man, one vote. Right. That's true. My dad was basically saying every election basically doesn't have an electoral college. So you're going to see a lot of people, and I've seen it the past couple weeks, the past couple months, talking about if y'all should have, what did they say? Y'all should stay home like y'all did in the 2016 election. Did you see that meme? Yeah, it basically said y'all should stay home during COVID-19 like y'all did during the 2016 election. And you know who they're aiming at. You know they're aiming at black folks, black men particularly. But I want to point out, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He won the electoral vote. And on top of that, y'all trying to put the blame on us. 50-some% of white women voted for Trump. You feel me?
So with that being said, like with the whole popular vote and the electoral college, like what's your input on that?
Man, I don't even know. I'm still doing a little bit of research on the electoral college because it's so abstract. You know, it's basically an algorithm that nobody really understands. But listen, man, I don't know. If I had the answer, I would definitely tell you.
So the way I'm assuming it's set up, like, you know, each state got a certain number, and that number is based on the I guess I'm assuming the population, your U.S. Senate, Congress, the whole shebang.
But it's not even based on the population, I don't think. Let me look it up.
Yeah, real quick. And when I tell people at the local election, that's where it really matters, because those are the ones that's voting. You know, they count the popular vote amongst the citizens, but our state reps, congressmen, they're the ones that's voting for who we want as our president. You know?
Right. So this is from Wikipedia. Hold on. That's the electoral college point amounts there.
Right. So that's why Super Tuesday was so big, because I think it was like Texas, Cali, Florida, and Ohio, New York. They were all up for the votes, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's how, like, Biden was winning, or Bernie was winning all that, because of those numbers right there. But you look at the popular vote, it's us, the citizens, that's voting. You know, that's why I say, like, the electoral college is BS to me. I'm not a fan of it at all, because if it's we the people who's electing these people in office, count our vote.
Right. Yeah, bro. I mean,
I was reading the comments from, they were saying, and Bubbers is right. There's no Democratic candidate that can beat Trump. It's a wrap. I agree, but I disagree. I do think, like, I think Bernie had a chance. I think Mayor Pete had a chance. And I wish Kamala Harris would have stayed in a little bit longer, but I think she had a chance too.
yep. Whoa, say that again? Hold on. Say that again? I missed what you said.
With the popular vote?
Say exactly what you just said again.
With the Democrats beating Trump?
Yeah.
I think Bernie had a chance, Mayor Pete had a chance, and Kamala Harris had a chance.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't think any of them had a chance either.
And the only reason I say that is just because but with the power behind Bernie, I think Bernie had everyone behind him, and he was able to debunk a lot of what Trump was doing. You know, the same thing with Kamala Harris, with her being the what was she over in Cali?
Attorney General?
Attorney General, yeah. You know, I just think they had enough firepower behind them that they were able to do something with Trump, you know.
Uh-huh. Well, I think Kamala's whole campaign crashed and burned because of Black people, because we seen her anti-Black policies, her anti-Black past of, you know, she had all that stuff going on with what was it, the attendance laws and all that kind of stuff. And basically she was predominantly locking up Black women, Black mothers, and it was very disproportionate, and a lot of people were calling her out on that. And I also seen that she set the it's really not funny, but she set the state record for California for locking up the most Black men.
Black men, yeah. And
So
I don't know the history, research, all that's behind it, but I'm looking at it as just me being ignorant right now. Me being solely ignorant. That's just her job to do. If you break the law, she got to prosecute, you know?
right. Well, Well, I agree and disagree because, again, you have to look into each individual case. But from what I was finding was that she was, targeting Black women.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
That's different now.
So the Black women were getting, let's say, and we already know how this always plays out. The Black women were getting, football numbers or even quarterback numbers or whatever, but everybody else was getting slaps on the wrist, probation, house arrest, whatever, And we already know that that's how our system does. And
yeah, I was just about to say that's just the system set up for us to fail. That everyone. Yeah.
But the problem is now is that, okay, people, and just bringing it back full circle, people know this. Biden knows this. That's part of what he was talking about in his interview. Yeah, Black Americans are disproportionately targeted for this. And even if you look at the whole COVID thing, they were saying Black people are disproportionately affected by it. But they say that over and over again, but then there's no solutions behind it. But whenever the agents were targeted for it, they came out with a stimulus package for them right away for their businesses. They came out with a hotline for them right away whenever they're being targets of violent acts or whatever. Right away, no questions asked. Oh, yeah, sure, fine, let's do it. And even with the stimulus checks, I shared a video. The comedian, I forget his name, something Davis. He was talking about we've been asking for reparations for hundreds of years, and y'all tell us y'all don't got it. But as soon as Corona hit, y'all got them couple $1 trillion worth of stimulus checks and just passing them out like hotcakes.
Oh, where come on, Yeah, that's definitely funny because like the first couple months, you wasn't hearing that. You wasn't hearing nothing about Black people getting the coronavirus, and then
exactly
60% of the African American population is affected by the coronavirus.
Right. And what we should have did, this is what we should have did, just like how the Asians did it. They didn't want to be the face of that, They push back on that. Because anytime that you try to make somebody the face of something, there's always going to be a backlash somehow. And y'all already know that they always try to make us the face of something, whether it be criminal behavior or whatever it is, they're going to try to make us the face of it. And then they're going to try to act on that and, for lack of a better term, put us in our place. So, and you're seeing this with all the arrests and all the different, there's a bunch of crazy stuff going on. Black folks getting beat upside their heads for not having their mask on right, for having a mask on, for not having a mask on, for being 5 feet and 11 inches apart. But white folks are out there at the beach and y'all ain't gaffling them up like y'all be doing us. You feel me? So
what? But that's it.
And I can go on and on, but let's see how long we've been on. 43 minutes.
Definitely, we gotta get back to it. Let's just shut that info out. I think I definitely do want to talk about the that latest killing for good brother Ahmaud.
Right. You said you do want to talk about it?
Yeah, we won't gotta get into it tonight, but I think we definitely shed some light on that.
One thing I'll say about that, this is just something that's on my mind real quick. And this goes for any killing or any, and I said this on my live a couple of weeks ago, people will, people are going to forget about this. It's going to die down. People are going to forget, but the real, like you and I, we're going to keep riding. We need everybody to keep riding, It's not just, because it comes full circle. The white supremacist killing of Ahmaud Arbery, the lynching, we'll call it, it comes full circle, So you can't stop fighting just because it's been however many months or however many weeks since the killing. Because it's not even about Ahmaud, it's about all of us. Because we try to individualize it. We make the little hashtags, run with Ahmaud, or hoodies up for Trayvon, all this little cute stuff that we do, and it's really taken away from systematic white supremacy. That's what we should be hashtagging. Start hashtagging the suspect's name. Start doing that. Start punishing these white supremacist race soldiers that kill us with impunity. We're not going in hugging them in the courtroom. We're not doing that. Because y'all see where that got us. That's all I got to say about it.
We talking to some of our boys, and they say like how with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, we only use the hashtag when feelings like that. So they were saying like it's really BS. I'm gonna explain to them like, no, it's deeper. It's much deeper than a killing. It's much deeper than a shooting. It's much deeper than police brutality. You know what I mean? It's white supremacy is what we're targeting. You know what I mean?
Right. That's a fact. And we need to hashtag destroy white supremacy. Beat white supremacy, because that's the main issue. And it's not about, of course, we know Black Lives Matter, but it's more than just the police killings. It's everything. It's our communities that are tore down and dilapidated and everything else. So we just need opportunities. If it ain't about wealth building specifically for Black Americans, we're not talking about minorities. Like I said, I already explained that earlier. Y'all gonna have to rewind back to whenever I started talking about that. Specifically for Black Americans, we need wealth opportunities. And sometimes I don't like when people say, well, we need jobs. No, we need wealth. We need wealth building. We need businesses. We can create our own jobs if we got the businesses, if we got the infrastructure, if we got the industry, So it's, again, going back to what you said, it's more than a hashtag. It's more than police killing. It's more than Black Lives Matter. It's white supremacy. That's the bottom line.
Racism, institutionalized racism, it's the oppression.
Exactly. But I'm a wrap it up. Who else is up in here? Let me see.
Any more comments in there?
I did see one. My pop said electoral college was put in place during the Civil War and never rescinded. Wow, I might have to look that one up.
Wait, say that again?
My pop said the electoral college was put in place during the Civil War and never rescinded.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to have to look that one up. And Bubber said government is not the answer, nor is it the solution to what ails the Black community. So basically he's saying government isn't the solution. I agree and I disagree. It's not the only solution, but there's definitely some stuff that can be done about it. It's both. We got to focus on empowerment of ourselves, educating ourselves, forming our own institutions. But at the same time, we definitely need policy to help expedite that process, So I don't know. That's all I got.
No, I agree with you. I think you definitely need policies and efforts in place to definitely ain't gonna solve all the problems. Definitely not gonna solve all the problems.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. How long we been on here for?
What'd you say?
How long we been on here for?
Almost 50 minutes.
Oh, no, we had good talk. Definitely had some good talk. Definitely. What we could do, me and you, we can start a podcast.
Yeah, we could do something like that. At least once a week, something.
Start a podcast and just
right. And I'm gonna post this on my YouTube. I'll share the link. Just all you gotta do is just look up. I think it's just John Clark or John G. It might be John G. I don't know. I put the G because there's a million John Clarks in the world. But yeah, y'all gotta make sure y'all go back. Some of the people I see on here were some of the I was reading, and I'm like, y'all are very misinformed. So I'm gonna bring up this article again, and I'm gonna share it after this video. Google this. Will black voters still love Biden when they remember who he was? And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. It ain't about Trump. It's about standing for something. We've been doing the same thing for 50, 60 years, voting default to the Democrats. So we got to ask for a black agenda. If these, specifically for us, and if these Democrats ain't offering it, I mean, I can only speak for myself. They ain't getting nothing from me. Simple. Again, I'm not telling y'all what to do. Think for yourselves. I would never tell anybody what to do, what to follow, and chastise them for their choice. But all I can tell you is give you the information, read, and think for yourself. Turn off CNN, turn off Fox News, turn off MSNBC, and think for yourself. That's it.
Yeah, just do a little research. That's it. Do a little digging. That's it. But I tell you, I could be honest with you. I could be wrong. Just do a little research. That's all I have.
Right. All right, we're going to sign off, man. We've been on here for almost an hour.
All right, good, bros. Definitely good talks, and definitely we're going to be linking up real soon.
For sure. Everybody make sure y'all go back and watch the playback, please. There's some good information there. Because some of y'all on here, y'all saying some bull crap. I'm going to just call it out. So y'all got to go back and watch this. All right, signing off.
All right.